Thank you, everybody. Can you guys hear me? Yeah. All right. Perfect. Uh, Again, thank you, everybody, for coming over. This has been a couple of years since we did this thing live, so I'm super excited to see all of us here. It's also great to get our company together. So we've been fully remote, fully digital for the last couple of years, and all our employees here. Before I start, I want to give a huge thank you and shout out to Crystal. She has been an absolute beast in terms of organizing this whole thing, making this happen. Thank you, Crystal. I love you. Okay. Thank you so much. I want to talk a little bit about QuestionPro, just a little bit about myself. I'm originally from India. I went to Russia for a couple of years. I was talking to Jason over there. I don't know why I went to Russia, but I was there for a couple of years, and then I landed up in BYU in Provo, Utah. That was a fun experience for a couple of years. And then I went to Seattle. I started QuestionPro in Seattle, actually, in my garage in Issaquah. A couple of Redmond guys and Seattle guys here, so they should know where Issaquah is. We've grown quite a bit since we started. So we are about 200 employees, 200 plus employees all up. We are in almost 11 countries right now, and from a data perspective, we've opened up data centers in almost every continent right now, including Australia, Canada, and so on. Just to give you guys perspective of the scale, we do about 11 to 12 million surveys per week, rather, and so that's about 100 million data points we are answering across all our customers, across all the systems that we run. So it's a fair amount of data that we collect, a fair amount of kind of information that we are processing across the entire spectrum. So what I'd like to kind of talk about today is a little bit two parts. One, I want to talk about where QuestionPro is today and what we are kind of, from a broad capability perspective, what we are doing. And then also I want to introduce a new concept of delight with everybody. And so broadly speaking, there are three kind of, I guess, pillars to our offering. Research and insights is where we started, quite frankly, where we are probably the strongest in. And customer experience is where we kind of leaned into like a few years ago, and then employee experience is also something that we actively promote today. I'll talk a little bit about each of them and new things that we are doing today. Especially on the research side, we are quite a company. A lot of you have used QuestionPro, and you've known us through the concept of surveys and quant research. We talked about conjoint, turf analysis. Most of these modules, actually, I have developed them a long time ago, and we've kind of continued developing them. But we felt that we were missing, obviously, we were doing the quant piece really well, but we were missing a qualitative component to that. To that end, we acquired a company called DigSite, and we are rebranding it to be QualSite. So we have a qual platform and a quant platform today, and that we'll integrate the two together over the next few months. And then the other part that we've added is what we call Insights Hub. It's a data knowledge management platform that we are also launching along with this. So if you think about it from a stack perspective, we have the quant and the qual and the kind of knowledge repository in a single system. So I strongly believe that this is an important element of kind of capturing data, especially with Insights Hub, where we have a lot of customers that are capturing a lot of data, but can the data be reused over time? So it's not on a episodic level, but you're building on top of the insights that you're collecting one after the other. I would say, like, with the acquisition of DigSite, we have really expanded our capabilities in an area which was totally white space for us. We did not compete in the qualitative space at all. And now we can enable scenarios like digital focus groups and mobile diaries and things like that are kind of complement and help you with mixed mode research that almost everybody's doing mixed mode research right now. It's not just qual, just quant. It's kind of usually a combination of both of them together. A little bit about our CX platform. I'll switch gears. And this is, as you can see, there are three or four, at least two internal tools that we are developing that we are pretty excited about. One is the reputation management platform, which is very similar to what we are saying is like, look, using surveys, transactional surveys, we collect data, and then we also want to measure how people think about you in the public domain. including looking at places like Yelp and Google Maps and everybody else where people are giving unsolicited feedback to you. So we want to merge the two kind of data streams, which is unsolicited and solicited data. Solicited obviously being the surveys, unsolicited being public information. So that's our reputation management tool. And then along with that, we're also bringing in a tool called Outer Loop, which is an action management for CX. But I'm really excited about talking about this acquisition with Valerie. Valerie, who's the CEO of Suite CX, agreed to join us in this journey. I'm extremely happy and excited to kind of welcome her to be part of the QuestionPro family. But not only that, Suite CX is the best-in-class journey mapping platform today. Forrester has done the full analysis on it. It is the best journey mapping platform available in the market. And that combined with our VOC offering today, now it becomes an extremely powerful kind of solution set for end-to-end, what I call an end-to-end CX stack, really. So if you think about CX, we have, it starts off with journey mapping, we have voice of the customer, action planning. So all these things, we want to combine them together under at least a single solution. And on the back end, we're going to weave the data back and forth together because we have access to all the data sets. And then let me talk a little bit about kind of on the employee experience side. We added a tool called Empower, which is our action management platform on top of our surveying platform. Again, a lot of companies do a lot of employee surveys, look at the data, but the general reaction is like, what have you done with it? And so this is a tool that'll help you plan and action and execute on the data that you've already collected with employees. So that's kind of like, in a nutshell, I don't want to go into too much details into it, but in a nutshell, those are the high-level kind of enhancements that we have made to the platform. And we'll continue doing that as we go along into our journey into 2023. So if you think about it, that's our kind of, we kind of look at it as a solution stack that spans research, CX, as well as EX. So that's how we view the platform across the spectrum, and we'll continue adding capabilities and features as we go along. But I think we've done so far a pretty good job in terms of adding all these things into our platform right now. I want to take a break and kind of talk about something totally different outside of QuestionPro. This has been in my head for some time, and I want to talk about this word called delight. We talk about measurement, we talk about satisfaction, we talk about NPS quite a bit across all our customers. And I have come to, at least I would like to propose that, delight is something that we need to strive for. All companies need to strive for, not just satisfaction, not just happiness, but truly delight. I think that's a new, I would say it's a new construct, but definitely it's a construct that we can bring into the business lexicon of what we are pursuing for. So let's kind of start off with what is delight, right? So, I think it's kind of, one, it's unexpected. Anything that you drive that is unexpected, and it's obviously positive. So if you combine these two emotions, you get delight. And I think that's what it is, and I think that's something that we can strive for. A good example of how we kind of implemented delight is this is the National Independent Soccer Association. So they wanted to kind of engage their fans in a different way, and we ran pretty much the live polls that you saw right now during the match, not like after the match, not before the match, but literally during the match, towards the end of the match, we ran the live polls. Everybody, the fans participated in it, and they voted for the man of the match. And that was an absolute hit. That was an absolute hit from the fans' perspectives. They felt engaged, that they were kind of connected in terms of determining who the man of the match was. And then the Soccer Association was also super happy because they were able to kind of like inculcate crowdsourcing into their obviously kind of soliciting feedback from all their fans. So this is an example of how we kind of bring delight into the conversation. The question is, does it matter? And I believe, yes, it does. Yeah, so it can, if you think about it, we are today in the fan economy where you convert your customers to fans. Like, if you really want them to be your fans. And delight brings about in my mind at least, brings about advocacy and loyalty intrinsically. So if you're delighted with something, you bring advocacy automatically. You don't have to say like, hey, I go around telling people, okay, look, I learned about something, I'm super delighted about something. I'll go tell people intrinsically. So the advocacy component comes through. Loyalty obviously comes along with it. So it's a kind of, I look at it as a meta thing to look for. And once you have, obviously, advocacy and loyalty, share a wallet, economically also, it'll work out. Here's a good case study. We actually experienced it internally. So this was about a year ago. There was a lot of internal burnout amongst QuestionPro employees. So we obviously do internal surveys with our own employees. And it was in the middle of the pandemic, or middle or 3/4 into the pandemic, I guess. And there was a lot of burnout. And we did a couple of surveys, and we said, like, okay, look, we got to do something about it. And one of our solutions that was very well received, I think, actually I know that was well received, was a random day off. It was not just, it was just like a random day. Like, you know what? Thank God I'm not owned by private equity guys yet, so which means I could just do whatever hell I felt like doing. It's just like, okay, you know what? Friday is QuestionPro day, which means nobody needs to work on this Friday. That's it. It's a win. We kind of gave ourselves a day off. And that really helped everybody. It was like, first of all, it was, obviously, it was unexpected. And the second thing, obviously, it was positive, and I really loved it. So like, okay, it's a day off that, and we had to do that. We had to do things like, that really help kind of get the unexpectedness in. The other thing that we did was, we wanted to connect the leadership with the rest of the company. Over time, our company has grown. We felt that we are all pretty far apart. So we created this construct of what we call a leadership Kaizen, where any employee could sign up with any of the leaders to have not necessarily a one-on-one, but just an individual chat with each other and talk about anything they want to talk about. There's no preset agenda. That was also, again, unexpected. People loved it. People get to, all the employees get to kind of have a conversation with other leaders in the company to see how they are doing, how they are coping up, and how they are, and exchange ideas through that process. Now let's talk about okay, so we understood what it is. We understood, why we should do it. Like, what are the ways we can implement Delight? I mean, I think the first thing is just saying internally in the company, like, we want to strive for delight, as opposed to we want to strive for satisfaction, or we want to strive for happiness. I think if you just making that operational internally and having systems and process to measure that. And again, we are obviously a tech company, so we are extremely data-driven. We want to measure everything that we do. We want to understand everything we do. So almost everything we go through a data-driven process. And I think as you think about delight, and this is more of a question to all of us to say, really think about, is this something that we want to strive for? And then how do we kind of really bring data into kind of the measurement of delight realistically? So that would be the challenge. It's not an easy problem, but that would be a challenge that I would like to throw out in front of everybody. And obviously, repeat and iterate on this process. So if you can repeat and iterate on it, sure, you'll come up with better ideas. So I mean, there are a couple of key things that we learned along the way. Like, at least I'm pushing for extremely hard. Like, the entire management team, at least on QuestionPro and everywhere else, we believe in this. We want to delight our customers. We want to make sure that even on our support channels, when people come on support, we want to make sure that the customers, not only the questions are answered, but there's something interesting and new that we offer to our customers through the support channels. Obviously, we take feedback seriously, so we do a lot of internal kind of processes, and we use feedback as a mechanism for quality assurance, as a mechanism for making things better, and that's gonna at least that's one of my ideas about how to keep, continue with the culture of delight. I think that's about it. Any questions, comments, thoughts? Okay, so since I talked about delight, I should probably, so I've added a lot of tools, which means all of you guys who are here can access any one of our tools for free for the next year. And this is not some bullshit, hey, 3 months off. So no, it's full. whatever, any tool that we have that you don't have currently access to, that you want, it's available free for the next year. So this is my way of kind of saying like, okay, you get it. So we won't charge you a single dollar for it, and it is available to you. So if you don't have access to Workforce, you'll get access to Workforce. If you don't have access to research license, we'll give it to you. And all the acquisitions we've done. So this is my way of saying thank you everybody for coming out here. And my email address is there. So if you can't get this QR code, that's fine. Just send me an email. I do respond to every single email I get. So that's it. Any other questions, thoughts, comments? Thank you, guys.